Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of our virtual live feedings. This is going to be our last virtual live feeding on the third Saturday of each month, because now we can have more people inside the Estuarium, which means we can start having these feedings during the day, during open hours. Thank you for joining us on another one of our virtual live feedings. Today we'll be feeding Rocky. She's our copper rockfish. She's looking very hungry today. We've got a painted anemone here that we'll be feeding. This anemone actually gets most of its energy from an algae that lives inside of it, so we won't be feeding that one today. Here's another painted anemone that we will be feeding. Here's a sand rose anemone that we will be feeding today. And our giant pink sea star, Patrick, will be getting fed today. If you want to come and help us feed, you can adopt our tank for the month. You'll get your name here. You'll get recognition throughout the month, and then you'll be the one actually helping us feed rather than just watching them. So, welcome everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in person for live feedings. I'm going to be feeding Rocky first. She can be very vicious and try and steal food from the anemones and sometimes the sea star. So she'll get her dinner first. Today I'll be feeding them small pieces of fish, which is one of Rocky's favorites. I'll also be feeding fish to the anemones because although they don't look like an animal, they are a carnivorous animal. They love to eat fish and shrimp and anything that they can sting with their tentacles. See if we can get her attention over here. Look at that go. She is very fast. She is a wait and strike predator. She won't go chasing after her prey. She'll wait for it to drift by her before snatching it up. Now her favorite part, we'll drop the head in. There she goes. If something tries to eat her, she's got these nice spines in her dorsal fin to protect her from predators. She's also got spines on her gill flaps there and a spine down below on her fins. So you don't want to mess with rockfish. Now let's feed some of the other animals. Oh. I don't think that anemone's hungry today. Doesn't look like it's going to take that piece of fish. It dropped it off to the side there and looks like it's closing up. Let's see if these anemones are hungry. See as Rocky follows me around, seeing if I got more fish for her. Is the anemone gonna take it? Maybe. She can definitely smell it. Well, let's see if the anemone will close itself up first. You can see the sea star is starting to smell the fish in the tank. All of its tube feet are out, smelling the water, tasting that water, trying to find that food. See about the sand rose anemone. You gonna take the fish? That one looks like it's gonna close up. Sand rose is usually always eating something. The anemones have stinging cells in their tentacles that allow them to paralyze their prey. Luckily for us, our skin is so thick that we don't feel it. It just kind of feels sticky to us. If you were to lick an anemone, our tongues are a bit more sensitive, so that would be a different story. So I highly recommend you do not lick an anemone. They only can shoot the paralysis dart out once, and then they have to grow a whole new one. And so if an anemone gets touched too many times, then it won't be able to paralyze its food to eat it. Say hello to Rocky. Still waiting for me to give her another fish, although that's all she gets unless she can steal it from someone else. Oh, nope, not for you, Rocky. Not for you. It's for the sea star. Oh, nope, she got it. Try and get it further up your arm. So the sea star's mouth is on the bottom of its body. And so once it takes a hold of that piece of fish, and we can make sure Rocky doesn't get it. It's going to bring that piece of fish down its long arms, using all those little tube feet, as it walks with them like feet and they're tube shaped. And it's going to bring it down there to the center of all of its arms. Sea stars can see. They have an eye spot that can sense light and dark on each of the tips of their arms. They can smell or taste by taking in the chemical senses from their surroundings through their gills and tube feet. They don't have gills like a fish. Their gills are a bit differently, but they can take in oxygen through the top and through the bottom. Each of those tube feet is used with water. So they take in water to move all of those little tube feet around. They can release water to lift their arm up, absorb water to stick down to a rock, and so they can withstand crashing waves. Rocky in the back eyeing the piece of fish that the anemone doesn't look like it's going to eat. When sea stars eat a clam or mussel, they can take the stomach out of their body and shove it into a clam or mussel to digest it. But for smaller pieces of food, like this piece of fish and pieces of shrimp, they can just shove them into their mouth where their stomach waits. Thank you for joining us on our last virtual live feeding. We hope to see you in person at the Estuarium for in-person feedings. And if you want to help us feed the animals, you can either become a volunteer and help us that way, or you can adopt the tank. Adopting the tank gets you your name on the tank. You get a photo with all the animals that would be in the tank. And if you get the complete adoption, you can come in and help us feed the animals in the tank that you adopted. So if you love our rough-skinned newts, you can adopt their tank and feed them. If you love sea stars, you can adopt our astrid tank and feed them. If you love sea stars and fish, you can adopt our eelgrass tank. And if you love Rocky and anemones, you can adopt our Thunderdome tank. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Say bye, Rocky.